Have you ever stood in the ashes of your own heart, wondering if you'll ever rise again? That question lingers, doesn't it? It's the kind of pain that keeps you up at night, staring into the darkness, asking if the wounds inflicted by those you trusted will ever heal. What's your name? What's breaking you right now? What's got your soul trembling, your spirit questioning if there's a way out of this hurt? I see you standing there carrying scars from battles you didn't choose, wounds from people who looked you in the eye and chose to hurt you deeply, deliberately, without a flicker of remorse. You're wrestling with pain that cuts like a jagged blade, betrayal that stings, rejection that burns, intentional harm that makes you question your worth, your purpose, your very existence. Maybe you're lying awake at 3 a.m., whispering to God, why me? Why now? Why this? But let me tell you something straight from the heart. God sees every tear you've shed, every silent scream you've let out. He's calling you, yes, you, to rise, to heal, to step boldly into the purpose He's written in the stars for you. What's weighing on your spirit right now? You're not alone in this fight. God's hand is on your shoulder, urging you to stand tall, to reclaim the power they tried to steal, to let His eternal light shine through the cracks of your broken places. I promise you this. There's hope beyond the hurt, a path to healing, a future where you shine brighter than ever. I've walked through the fire of this world, and one thing that never fails to shake me to my core is how some people can hurt others with cold, calculated precision. They don't just stumble into it, they plan it, they aim it, they fire it straight at your heart. They damage you on purpose, leaving you to sweep up the shattered pieces of your trust, your confidence, your joy. I don't know your exact story, but I know pain. I know betrayal. I know what it feels like when someone you trusted looks you dead in the eye and without a second thought decides to tear you apart. Let's not sugarcoat this. There are people out there who mean to do you harm. They're not just careless, they're deliberate, intentional, surgical in their attacks. They want to see you stumble. They want to see you fall because somehow your pain feeds their twisted satisfaction. Maybe it's jealousy eating them alive. Maybe it's their own insecurities clawing at them, or maybe they're wrestling with demons they can't face. Whatever their reason, they chose you as their target. And when you're on the receiving end of that kind of malice, it's devastating. It's a gut punch that leaves you gasping, questioning everything you thought you knew about them, about yourself, about the world. But hear me now loud and clear, just because they damaged you doesn't mean you're broken beyond repair. Just because they tried to take you down doesn't mean you have to stay down. And just because they hurt you with intention doesn't mean they get to define who you are. Let me tell you about a friend, Sarah, a woman with a heart of gold, who poured everything into a friendship, sharing her dreams, her fears, her hopes. She trusted her friend with her soul, only to have that friend turn around and spread vicious lies, tearing Sarah's reputation to shreds in their community. Sarah would sit in her car sobbing, feeling like her worth had been stripped away, like she'd never trust again. What's your name? Have you ever felt that sting of betrayal, that knife in your back that keeps twisting? It's a pain that feels like it'll never end. But God reached into Sarah's heart, whispering truth when the lies were loud. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 proclaims, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born. I set you apart." God knew Sarah before the betrayal, before the pain, and He knows you too. He has a purpose for you that no lie, no betrayal, no malice can steal. Sarah started praying, leaning into God's truth, surrounding herself with people who saw her light. Slowly, she rebuilt her confidence, her trust, her joy. You can too, my friend. Share your pain in the comments. Let's lift each other up in prayer. Who's hurt you? What's your story? Let God heal that wound right now. I'm not here to tell you it's easy. It's not. When someone hurts you on purpose, it feels like a personal attack on your very soul, a violation of everything you hold dear. It messes with your sense of self-worth, your confidence, your peace of mind, leaving you raw and exposed. And that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to get under your skin, to plant seeds of doubt in your heart, to make you question your value, your place in this world. They wanted you to feel small, insignificant, like you're not enough. But let me tell you the truth, straight from God's heart to yours, that's their agenda, not His plan for you. What they tried to do to you says everything about their darkness and nothing about your light. You got to understand that when people act out of malice, it's because they're battling their own shadows, their own brokenness. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not excusing their behavior, not for a second. I'm not saying you should just forgive and forget like it never happened. No, that's not what this is about. What I'm saying is that their actions reflect the state of their heart, not yours. They're projecting their pain, their insecurities, their shortcomings onto you, and for some reason they saw you as an easy target. Think about James, a man I met who poured his soul into building a business, working late nights, sacrificing time with his family only to have a partner sabotage it out of pure envy. James watched his dream crumble, his confidence shattered, feeling like his hard work meant nothing. What's your dream, my friend? Has someone tried to crush it to steal your spark? That pain is heavy like a boulder on your chest, but God's strength is heavier, mightier, unstoppable. Psalm chapter 34, verse 18 states, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." James turned to prayer, found a community that believed in his vision, and rebuilt his dream with God's guidance, brick by brick. You're not defined by their lies or your failures. You're God's masterpiece crafted with purpose. Drop "I'm enough" in the comments. Who's standing with you today? Share their names. Let's thank God for them. Let me make this crystal clear. There are people out there who take pleasure in watching others suffer. It's twisted, it's dark, but it's real. They're fighting their own demons, and instead of facing them, they lash out at you thinking tearing you down will lift them up. They believe belittling you makes their pain more bearable, but that's a lie straight from the enemy's playbook. It's a delusion that only breeds more hurt, more chaos. They don't see that when they throw dirt on you, they're digging their own grave deeper. You might be sitting there right now feeling crushed under the weight of their actions, like you've been knocked down gasping for air under the burden of their hurt. But here's what God's calling you to understand: just because they tried to break you doesn't mean you have to stay broken. You are stronger than they think, stronger than you think, and God's strength is coursing through you, ready to lift you up. I once knew a woman, Maria, who trusted a close friend with her deepest secrets, only to have that friend spread rumors to ruin her. Maria felt like she'd lost everything: her trust, her joy, her place in the world. What's your name? Have you ever felt like you've hit rock bottom, like the ground's been ripped out from under you? Maria did. But she heard God's voice in her darkness, calling her to rise. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31 declares, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Maria clung to that promise, started journaling her pain, pouring her heart out to God, and found strength in His Word. She soared again, and so can you. Share in the comments what's one step you're taking to stand up today. What's God whispering to your heart? I know it doesn't feel like that right now. I know you're questioning everything, why this happened, how you missed the signs, whether you did something to deserve it. But stop right there, my friend. This isn't about what you deserve. Nobody deserves to be hurt intentionally. Nobody deserves betrayal, manipulation, or disrespect. So don't waste your energy trying to figure out what you could have done differently. That's a trap, a distraction from the path God's calling you to walk. You need to see that you have the power to define yourself, to write your own story. You are not what they said you are. You are not the pain they inflicted. You are not the lies they spread or the doubts they planted. You are so much more: a child of God, a survivor, a warrior forged in fire. You've walked through flames, and with God's grace, you're coming out stronger, refined, unstoppable. Let me tell you about John, a man who was mocked by colleagues for his faith, their words cutting deep, making him doubt his worth, his place. Ever felt like you're not enough, like the world's telling you to shrink? What's your name? John's heart ached, but he found solace in God's truth in prayer, in the quiet moments where God's voice drowned out the noise. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 proclaims, "I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." John started affirming his worth daily, surrounding himself with believers who saw his light, and God's truth set him free. You are enough in His eyes, my friend. Declare it in the comments. I am God's warrior who's lifting you up right now. Share their names. Let's praise God for them. When those doubts creep in, when their words echo in your mind like a relentless drumbeat, you've got to stand up, chest out, and declare, no, that's not who I am. That's not my truth. Your truth is that you are capable, you are worthy, you are enough in God's eyes. Let's talk about healing, real, raw, transformative healing. Healing doesn't mean erasing what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means facing the pain head-on, sitting with it, feeling every jagged edge, and then choosing to move forward with God's guidance. It means grieving the damage done, the trust shattered, the innocence stolen, the dreams bruised. And that's okay. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to be angry, to want to scream, shout, and cry until your voice gives out. Those feelings are valid, given by God to help you process, to help you grow. You've got to let them out, because if you bottle them up, they'll eat you alive from the inside like a poison you didn't choose. But as you feel those emotions, remind yourself that this pain does not define you. It's part of your story, yes, but it's not the whole book. You're writing your narrative with God's pen, and every time you choose to rise above the hurt, you're adding a new chapter, a chapter of victory, of resilience, of faith. You're showing the world, yourself, and the enemy that you won't let anyone dim the light God placed in you. They tried to snuff it out, but you are a flame that burns eternal with His love. I met a young man, David, whose family turned their backs on him after he made a mistake, a single misstep that they refused to forgive. The rejection crushed him, left him feeling utterly alone, like he'd never belong again. What's your name? Have you ever felt abandoned, like the people you needed most turned away? David's tears were real, but so was God's comfort, wrapping around him like a warm embrace. Psalm chapter 30, verse 5 states, "Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." David found healing by praying, joining a church group that became his family, and letting God's love mend his heart. You can find that comfort too. Let your pain out. What's one way you're finding peace today? Share it below. Let's hold space for each other. Picture that flame inside you, my friend. What's your name? What's keeping that flame flickering, threatening to fade? Visualize it burning bright, a beacon in the darkest nights, fueled by God's promises. That flame is your spirit, your resilience, your God-given will to overcome. When doubt creeps in, when you feel that flame flicker, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and reconnect with that fire. It's there, pulsing with God's strength, waiting for you to fan it, to give it the oxygen it needs to grow. Part of that fuel comes from surrounding yourself with people who see your light, who lift you up to God's glory, who remind you of who you are when the world tries to tell you otherwise. You need folks who see you as God sees you, radiant, worthy, unstoppable, not as those malicious souls tried to paint you. Surround yourself with love, with positivity, with encouragement, with people who pray with you, stand by you, and cheer you on as you walk this healing journey with God. I recall Lisa, a woman who lost her best friend to vicious gossip that tore their bond apart. She felt isolated, like trust was a luxury she'd never afford again. Ever been there, feeling like you can't let anyone in? What's your name? Lisa found a church group that welcomed her with open arms, prayed with her through the pain, and showed her God's love in action. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17, affirms a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Lisa rebuilt her circle with God's guidance, finding true friends who lifted her up. Who's in your corner right now? Drop their names in the comments. Let's thank God for those angels in our lives. I get it, trusting again is hard, like walking on a tightrope over a canyon. What's your heart telling you right now? Where are you standing in this moment? You've been hurt, and it's natural to build walls to protect yourself from more pain. But don't let those walls become a prison, locking you away from God's love and the support He's placed around you. It's about balance, knowing who to let in and who to keep at arm's length. Be selective, discerning, prayerful. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, your vulnerability, your sacred space. But there are good people out there, God's people, who will cherish you, respect you, and uplift you in His name. Seek them out. Pray for discernment to find them, to know who's worthy of your trust. Think of Michael, who gave his all to a mentor he admired, only to have that mentor betray him for personal gain, leaving Michael wary of ever trusting again. Ever felt that trust shattered like glass? You can't piece back together what's your name. Michael prayed for wisdom. and God led him to new mentors who honored his heart. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 declares, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Michael set boundaries to honor the temple God made him, and you can too. What boundary are you setting today to protect your peace? Share it below. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's talk about boundaries, because they're not just important, they're essential, like guarding the holy temple of your soul. When someone's hurt you intentionally, you've got to draw a line in the sand, make it clear what you will and won't accept. Protect your energy as fiercely as God protects you. It's not about building impenetrable walls. It's about creating a sacred space where your spirit can thrive. It's about saying with conviction, I will not tolerate disrespect. I will not tolerate betrayal. I will not tolerate anyone who tries to steal the peace God's given me. Setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable, like you're being too harsh, but it's not. It's necessary. It's self-care, a bold declaration of your worth in God's eyes. When you stand firm in your boundaries, you're telling the universe, I am a child of God. I deserve respect. I deserve love. I deserve kindness. And you will attract people who align with that energy, who honor the space God's helping you carve out. I knew a woman, Angela, whose sibling betrayed her trust over a family secret, airing it to hurt her. The pain kept her up at night, anger and bitterness eating at her soul. Ever held on to that kind of hurt, feeling it consume you? What's your name? Angela found freedom by forgiving, not for her sibling's sake, but for her own peace, leaning into God's grace. John chapter 16, verse 33 proclaims, in this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world. Jesus' words helped Angela release her anger step by step until she felt free. Forgive for your peace. What's one step you're taking toward forgiveness today? Share it in the comments. Let's walk that path together. Now let's pivot to forgiveness, because I know what you're thinking. Denzel, forgiveness after what they did to me? I hear you loud and clear. It's a tall order, like climbing a mountain with no end in sight. Forgiving someone who hurt you on purpose feels impossible, like betraying yourself. But forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. It's about freeing your heart from the chains of anger, letting God's peace flood in like a river. It doesn't mean you condone their actions or erase their betrayal. It means you're choosing to release the hold that anger has on you, refusing to let it define your future. It's a decision to move forward without resentment weighing you down like an anchor. It won't happen overnight, and that's okay. God's grace is patient. But the moment you feel that weight lift, the moment you realize they no longer control your emotions, that's when you reclaim your freedom in God's love. Consider Rachel, who was told by a critic she'd never succeed in her art, her passion. Those harsh words nearly broke her, made her doubt her talent, her purpose. What's your dream? As someone tried to crush it with their words, Rachel prayed, and God reignited her passion, showing her she was made for more. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10 states, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Rachel's art flourished, touching lives, proving her critics wrong. Chase your God-given dreams. What's one step you're taking toward them? Drop it below. Let's cheer you on. Don't forget your dreams, my friend. What's your passion? What's God stirring deep in your heart when you're hurt? It's easy to let those wounds overshadow your ambitions, to feel unworthy of your passions, incapable of your goals. But God's calling you to chase those dreams with everything you've got. Don't let their actions hold you back from the life He designed for you, a life of purpose, joy, and impact. Be relentless in pursuing what sets your soul on fire, whether it's your career, your art, your relationships, or whatever brings you alive. Use the pain as fuel. Let it drive you to work harder, to be more passionate, to be more focused. Show the world you're not just a survivor, you're a thriver, walking boldly in God's purpose. You're not letting anyone's malice dictate your potential. You're rising above it, achieving greatness on God's terms. I met a man, Thomas, who lost his job due to a colleague's sabotage, a betrayal that left him doubting his abilities, his worth. Ever felt like you're not enough, like the world's stacked against you? What's your name? Thomas leaned into God's promises, finding new purpose through prayer and perseverance. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22-23 affirms, because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Thomas rebuilt his career with faith stronger than before. Your journey's not over. What's one thing keeping you going right now? Share it below. Let's keep the faith alive. Healing is a journey, not a destination, and it's a road with twists and turns. Some days you'll feel like you've conquered the world, like nothing can stop you. Others, the past will creep back in whispering doubts, stirring pain. But every time you choose to rise, every time you step into God's power, you're building a stronger foundation for your future. Embrace the journey, the lessons, the growth. Life will throw curveballs, but you have God's strength to catch them, to keep moving forward. You've already proven it. You survived their attack, and you'll keep overcoming with his help. The road you need to walk is one of healing, rebuilding, and reclaiming your power in God's name. That's what they tried, to take your power, your spark, your God-given light. The best way to take it back is to rise above their actions with his strength. Don't ignore what happened, face it head on. Acknowledge the pain, feel it, process it, because if you don't, it'll consume you from within like a fire you can't control. But once you've grieved, once you've let yourself hurt and be angry, it's time to let go, not for them, but for you. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting them to suffer. It doesn't hurt them. It hurts you, keeps you stuck, reliving the pain over and over. You're worth more than that. Your future, God's plan for you, is worth more than that. I knew a woman, Grace, whose business partner cheated her, leaving her in debt and drowning in anger. That resentment consumed her until she surrendered it to God in prayer. Ever felt trapped by resentment, like it's holding you hostage? What's your name? Grace found freedom in letting go, trusting God's plan. Romans chapter 8, verse 28 declares, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. Grace rebuilt her life stronger, wiser, free. Let go of your anger. What's one way you're finding freedom today? Share it below. Let's release that weight together. So, how do you let go? How do you move past something so personal, so intentional, so cruel? It starts with a decision that their actions won't define your life, that you won't let their darkness dim your light. It's a choice to take back control, to rebuild, to be stronger with God's help. It's not about forgiving them for their sake. It's about freeing yourself for God's purpose. I know you're thinking, Denzel, you don't know how deep this cut is. And you're right. I don't know your exact story, but I know the weight of pain, the sting of betrayal. Holding on to that pain won't change the past. It won't make them regret or apologize. It won't give you the closure you're craving. The only closure comes from deciding with God's strength that they no longer have power over your life. Picture Mark, who faced betrayal from a family member who turned others against him, leaving him isolated, feeling like he had no one. Ever felt blocked by life's boulders, like you're all alone? What's your name? Mark prayed, and God showed him a path forward through the valley. Psalm chapter 23, verse 4 states, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Mark navigated his pain with faith, finding new connections, new hope. What's one obstacle you're overcoming right now? Drop it in the comments. Let's pray for your breakthrough. Imagine standing by a river, watching the water flow steady and strong. That river is your life, your journey with God, moving toward his purpose. Now picture the boulders thrown in your path, the pain, the hurt, the betrayal. They're heavy, blocking your way, threatening to stop the flow. But you've got the power through God to choose how to handle them. You can sit and weep over those boulders, let them consume your spirit. Or you can find a way around, over, or under them with God's guidance, navigating forward with faith. It won't be easy. You'll stumble, fall, feel like you're back at square one. But every time you get up, you're showing yourself, the world, and the enemy that you won't be defeated. You're building resilience with God's strength, proving they don't get the final say. Processing that pain is crucial. What's your name? What's holding you back today? Give yourself permission to feel it all. If you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, cry until the tears run dry. Don't suppress it. Those emotions are valid, given by God to help you heal. Let them out to create a pathway for release, a clearing for God's peace to settle in. That release might look different for everyone. Some find it in writing, pouring their heart onto paper, letting the ink carry their pain. Others find it in exercise, pushing their bodies to release the tension, sweat mingling with tears. Some find it in talking with trusted friends, sharing until the weight feels lighter. Find your outlet guided by God's peace and don't keep it bottled up. Take Sarah again, who felt like a victim after her betrayal, like the lies defined her. She rewrote her story through prayer, through faith. Ever felt defined by your pain like it's all people see? What's your name? Sarah found her strength in God, declaring her truth. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 affirms, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here. Sarah became a survivor, not a victim, rewriting her narrative with God's truth. Rewrite your story. What's one truth you're claiming today? Share it below. Let's declare it together. After processing, reframe your narrative. Don't see yourself as a victim. See yourself as a survivor anointed by God. Every scar is a testament to your strength, a badge of honor etched by endurance. Every healed wound is a reminder of your resilience, your capacity to rise. You're not defined by their actions, you're defined by how you respond with God's grace. Reclaiming your power means taking back control of your life, saying, I won't let this dictate my worth. It's declaring with God that you'll rise above their attempts to diminish you, standing tall, proud, and unapologetically yourself in His image. Boundaries are key. My friend, protect your energy as fiercely as God protects your soul. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who encourage you, who see you as God does, radiant, worthy, called. If someone drags you down, keep stirring up the past, or feeds your pain, evaluate that relationship. You have the right to step back from toxicity, to say no more. I won't let you affect my life. Boundaries aren't about being mean. They're about self-respect, about honoring the temple God made you. You deserve to be around those who inspire you, who believe in you, who want you to succeed in God's plan. This journey isn't linear. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, unstoppable in your faith. Others, the past will try to pull you back, whispering doubts. That's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. Acknowledge those moments, but don't let them drag you down. Healing takes time, patience, grace. Every step forward is progress, a victory in God's eyes. Celebrate the little wins, getting through a tough day, reaching out for support, trying something new. Each step shows you're capable of moving beyond the hurt, worthy of joy in God's presence. Let me tell you about Emma, who was shamed by her community for a past mistake, their judgment making her feel like she'd never be enough. Ever felt judged unfairly, like the world's pointing fingers? What's your name? Emma found solace in God's grace, joining a support group that reminded her of her worth, her value. Psalm chapter 139 verse 14 declares, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Emma embraced her God-given value, stepping into her truth. Celebrate your progress. What's one victory you're proud of today? Share it below. Let's rejoice together. Rediscover joy, my friend. What makes you feel alive? What's God stirring deep in your soul? It might have been a while since you felt true joy, since you laughed from your belly or felt your heart sing. Ask yourself what lights you up. Is it painting, letting colors dance on a canvas, cooking, creating meals that warm the soul, time in nature, feeling God's breath in the wind, make room for it, carve out space for joy? Joy is a powerful antidote to pain, a gift from God that restores your spirit. Engaging in what lights you up infuses your life with positivity, reminding you there's still beauty, love, and hope for a brighter future in God's plan. Don't shy away from big dreams. Your past doesn't limit your future in God's eyes. You've been hurt, but don't settle for less than you deserve. Dream big, audacious dreams and pursue them with everything you've got. They reflect your potential, your hopes, God's purpose for you. Chase them down with His strength, relentless and unwavering. Gratitude is a game changer even when pain makes it hard. It shifts your perspective, turning your eyes from what's been taken to the blessings God's placed in your life. Write down 3 things you're grateful for daily. The warmth of the sun on your face, a stranger's unexpected smile, a friend's unwavering support. Gratitude retrains your mind to find the positive grounding you in God's blessings. Extend that compassion to yourself. You've been through a lot. Be gentle. Speak to yourself with love like you would a dear friend. You deserve that kindness, that grace. I met a man, Daniel, who lost his confidence after a public humiliation by a rival, the shame lingering like a shadow. Ever felt that sting of humiliation, like you can't show your face? What's your name? Daniel started thanking God for small blessings, a kind word, a new opportunity, shifting his focus to hope. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18 states, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." Gratitude lifted Daniel's spirit, and it can lift yours too. What are you thankful for today? Drop it in the comments. Let's fill this space with gratitude. You can turn your pain into purpose, my friend. Your experiences, your scars, your story, they can inspire others, shine a light for those lost in darkness. Share your healing, show others it's possible to rise with God's help. Your pain can be a beacon of hope, a testament to His power. So what's your story? Where are you standing right now? Stand at life's crossroads and choose your path. Let the pain shape you, but don't let it define you. Choose to rise, to embrace your worth, to live a life overflowing with God's joy and purpose. Picture that life. What do you see? A career that fulfills you, a family filled with love, a community where you thrive. Hold on to that vision. Let it guide you with God's light. You're a resilient, powerful, beautiful child of God, refusing to be defined by others' actions. You're not alone. God's placed people around you who care, who want to see you heal, who are praying for your breakthrough. Lean on them. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Strength lies in admitting you need support and being vulnerable with those God's placed in your corner. Rebuilding starts with you. When someone hurts you intentionally, it feels like your world's shattered. Trust, love yourself, all in question. But with God, you can rebuild stronger, more beautiful than before, a masterpiece restored by His hands. Remind yourself who you are in His eyes, not what they tried to make you believe. You are worthy, deserving of love, respect, kindness. No one can take that away. Your foundation is self-love, rooted in God's love, unshakable and eternal. Acknowledge your worth daily. Look in the mirror. See the strength, the resilience, the beauty God placed in you. It's a process, a daily choice. Every day you choose to believe in yourself, you're laying a brick in that foundation, building a fortress of faith. Silence the inner critic with God's truth. Step outside your comfort zone. Pursue your dreams with boldness. Set goals grounded in your values and God's calling. What dreams has He placed in your heart? A business that changes lives, a book that inspires, a family that reflects His love. Write them down, visualize them, make them real. Then take action, even small steps. Sign up for that class, reconnect with a friend, start that hustle. Action breeds momentum, empowering you in God's strength. Be aware of the voices around you. Some won't understand your journey, questioning your choices, pulling you back. Don't let them dim your light. Surround yourself with those who uplift you. Celebrate your wins, reflect God's love. Protect your energy. Your healing is a priority, a sacred mission. Distance yourself from negativity, not out of spite, but to nurture your growth in God. Take care of your mind and body. Healing is holistic. Nourish yourself with good food, exercise, sleep, moments of stillness. Self-care fuels your mental clarity, equipping you for life's challenges. Meditate, pray, do what brings you joy. Those moments are sacred, strengthening you for the journey. Face your past shadows with intention, not fear. Don't dwell on pain. Use it as fuel, as wisdom. Reflect on what it taught you about yourself, others, God's plan. Transform pain into strength. Be grateful for those lessons. They shape you into who God meant you to be, a warrior refined by fire. The rebuilding journey isn't straight. Some days are joyful, others heavy. That's okay. Feel the full range of emotions. A bad day doesn't mean failure. It means you're human, beautifully human. Lean on your support system. Be vulnerable. Open your heart. That vulnerability opens doors for deeper connections in God's love. Self-compassion is key. Treat yourself with the kindness you'd offer a friend. If you're too hard on yourself, pause and ask, what would I say to someone I love? Say that to yourself because you're worthy of love, patience, understanding in God's eyes. Celebrate your progress every single step. Acknowledge getting out of bed on a tough day, reaching out for support, trying something new. These wins, big or small, reinforce your growth in God's grace. Your future is yours to shape. Dream bigger than ever. Use your lessons to create a life that reflects your true self in God. What's happiness to you? A life of purpose, a legacy of love. Visualize it clearly. Let that vision motivate you. Be adaptable. Life's unpredictable, but God's plan endures. Pivot, grow, stay focused on your goals. Rebuilding is transformative. It's rediscovering who you are in God, reclaiming His power, forging a path of resilience. You're capable of rising, creating beauty from ashes, shining brighter than ever. Embrace the discomfort, the uncertainty, the growth. Trust in your ability to heal, to thrive. You're not defined by others' actions, but by how you respond with God's strength. Every day is a chance to create the life God designed, to step into His power, to show the world you're unstoppable. I met a woman, Clara, who was betrayed by a loved one who exposed her vulnerabilities to the world, leaving her cloaked in shame. That shame nearly broke her, but she found purpose in sharing her story, helping others heal. Ever felt like your pain could inspire, could light the way for someone else? What's your name? Clara started a support group, turning her pain into a beacon of hope. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 proclaims, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Clara embraced her God-given purpose, and you can too. What's your purpose, your calling? Share it below. Let's inspire each other. So, stand tall, my friend. What's your name? What's God calling you to do today? Embrace your journey, every step, every tear, every triumph. The best is yet to come, and you've got this in His name. Drop "I'm rising" in the comments. Share your story. How's God healing your heart? Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's build a community of warriors rising together in faith. Your pain isn't your end. It's your beginning, a new chapter written with God's love. Say amen if you're ready to rise. Who's with you on this journey? Share their names, your victories, your dreams. Let's lift each other up in faith. Let's fill this space with hope, with healing, with God's unstoppable light.